Hey guys, welcome to Kipoerneke's Corner. I am over in EverQuest 2 at the moment on the Origins server, making sure everything looks like it's set up right as it appears to be. Sorry, I got some people coming in and out of the room at the moment. I'm over at my son's cards and comic shop. But anyway, okay, so looks like everything is looking pretty good. So I had been going to log into EverQuest Legends earlier, but it seems that there's some sort of an issue. The servers did not seem to be up. So I thought, well, hey, let's go do a little bit of EverQuest 2. All right, now I am currently over in Zek, and we've got some Shinies around here, so I may as well grab one of those. These guys will be very aggro to me. So I'm going to go in Viz and see what exactly I'm up to. Too late. Got seen. We go to current zone and then have a look at what I have to do. Report to hammer on the port. We've got kill Talon grunts until I find the broken walking clasp. Slay Talon catapult operators in the orcish wastes. Collect fey wings. And slay death fist toilers. All right. Ah, they're still on me from over there. Okay. Well, we'll just keep running for a moment here. Actually, I probably may as well call Judy back because most of the stuff that I'm in need of is uh, is going to be over in that area anyway. But I see these shinies here and I would like to grab them. So I'm going to try to do that real quick. That didn't quite work. There we are. So yeah, finish those guys off. I don't need the orc smuggler requisition. That's for the language quest, and I have done the language quest, so no need for that. Number of shinies hanging around here. Had to make sure I had room for them. Looks like I do, so that's a no trade one. I'm actually going to leave that on the ground. It's Jerb North Star's journal, page 7, and it looks like I already have it, so there's no need for me to get it. Can't trade it, can't sell it. No use. But while I'm over in this area, I do want to go ahead and grab these cages that are lying around in case there are some that I need. And also I can throw some into the depots and possibly some onto the broker. I don't know. I haven't gone over to the broker since I've been in right now. And probably all of my stuff has fallen off the listings because it's been long enough since I went to a broker here, that I think it's probably no longer listed. I know that the named is up over here, which is cool. I don't really see anything in there anyway that I want to grab right now. Probably sour grapes anyway. All right, so let us call. Oh, that's the feigned death. That's not what I don't want the evac. Let me go ahead and evac out of here. That'll take me over to the docks where I can turn in a quest. All right, here we are. And we need to find Hammer. I see that there's another quest over there. I think that that's one of the ones that goes into Death Fist Citadel, though. Definitely not interested in doing that right now. So instead, off we go to this area here. We're going to find Hammer over here. Actually, we're going to find... Yeah, there he is. Okay, Hammer. Weird. All right. Okay, here he is. Sorry. He says, it's rare that I eat my words, but you have proven yourself to be more than a mere trotter. I say, I'll forget your earlier words. He says, they've used the wrong your here. But he says, your orc bashing skills are quite welcome here in the Orcish Wastes. He probably didn't go to, to a good enough school to understand the difference. Who knows? He says the Greenhoods could make use of such talent. Check back with me later, and I'll see if there may be greater tasks for you in the orcish wastes. I say, I'll check back with you. Farewell. And so we're going to come over here, and I don't think any of this stuff is going to be anything that I'm actually interested in. It's you've got leather armor of various varieties, and that's cool. But for me, I am not so interested in what he has to offer. But I might have a look at it and see what it looks like and choose something that looks kind of cool. So let's click Control, and we can. Okay, let's reset this. Actually, let's clear this so that we're naked, and then let's start at the top and see what kind of cool stuff there is. So we got the shoes right here. They're very green. That's kind of fancy, right? Some emerald hide boots right there. Let's check the bracers. All right. This is interesting. Got a green suit going on. There's the helmet. Okay, gloves. Nice. Okay, there's the pants. That is something right there. All right. Shoulder pads. And then, of course, the tunic. So in the full suit, very, very green. Now imagine if you were an Ixar and you're wearing this green suit. That seems pretty cool. I think that I will take the tunic for now. Assuming I don't have any more. Maybe I already have some more pieces of this though. So let's do a search and find out if we have any emerald hide anything. Emerald hide. Okay, we don't have any emerald hide items yet. So yeah, let's go with the tunic. It's a nice big gold piece. Now let's start to hammer again. He says, back for more, are you, Trotter? Are you ready to work for the Greenhoods? I say, I thought you might need a brave adventurer. He says we could really use your help with most of our scouts having been dispatched to the far ends of the island. We've been trying to perform reconnaissance of a number of nearby locations, but we haven't the numbers to spare. I say, give me the details. You don't have to recruit me. He says, I've taken the liberty of noting the locations in a journal. Visit the locations and record your findings. They all must be investigated, but I must warn you, they rest in hostile land. So watch every step you take and keep your eyes and feet moving. Good luck, and may the green watch over you. I say, I am on my way. It's given me a little bit of green on my chest already. Okay, reconnaissance of the Tower of Ruins, reconnaissance of the East Catapult, reconnaissance of the West Catapult, reconnaissance of the wreck of the QSS Eben Strongbear, and reconnaissance of the Grove of Stones. QSS Eben Strongbear is probably out here. It's probably this shipwreck way down here, right there. Yeah, that's the one. As suspected. So we're going to come out there, and it should be no problem because I have, first of all, I had Zerium, so I can breathe underwater. Second of all, I'm not aggro to any of these things at this point. I'm a little further along in leveling than I really necessarily should be for this. So off we go. Reconnaissance is happening right now. There's also this. I don't know if I've gotten this yet or not. Looks like I have. The chest is quite sturdy and is bound by a lock. There's an image of a great warrior riding killer whales on it. The words QSS Eben Strongbear are carved into the lid. Let's see that chest right there where it lay. Now, what else? We needed the tower, and then various catapults, tower rooms, and also the Grove of Stones. All right, so off we go. Let's go ahead and climb up this way, actually. Nice, easy ramp up there. It occurred to me that I didn't have the sound playing. The sound is vital for this area, right? Alright, so we're gonna start over here with the ruins. Well, let's see. Got Talon grunts over here. I guess I could. Yeah, I suppose I could kill the Talon grunts. And let's see that. Now there's a name that spawns over in this area as well. If you continue going, this direction, then sometimes there'll be a guy right over here. Yeah, there he is. Turkus, the raid leader. He's not green to me at this point, but just so you know, he does pop up there pretty often. Now we're going to go by each of the catapults, and I'm not going to fight these guys right now, but if I see the if I see grunts along the way, I'll get those because they're nice and easy. There's the east catapult. Now we need the west catapult. That's right, not this one. This one's a markable one. The one to the south of it, I believe. We will mark this one while we're here. May as well, right? And then come over to this. Looks like we actually got all the grunts. It's interesting. How can that be correct? Don't know. 20 bundles of thistle fodder from the beds of thistle in the Zek region. I didn't realize that I needed that. So I should pay attention as I'm going along looking for the bushes. Okay, so then I also have to get the Grove of Stones, and that's going to be up here and then over to the east, I believe. By the way, this guy has a static shiny. It's no trade, but if you need it, be sure to check on him. Not gonna deal with the Bay guys yet. But I will grab any of the bushes that I see. So if we look there, flattened bed of thistle, we'll grab that on the way. And there's another one here. Actually, I'm only across a few of them. This area is decent to gather in. As far as Zek goes, Zek is not a super safe place to gather if you're not high level or higher level in this area. I also need to keep my eye out for things like these gravestones. That one isn't one that I need, but there are a number of the gravestones that still do need. I think maybe not though. I think it would probably show up under the language quest. Let's see here. I'm not sure. No, those aren't language quests. What am I thinking? I'm crazy. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm talking about. Never mind. So there's the Grove of Stones, however, so we're going to go over there, perform our reconnaissance mission. And now it says return to Hammer and Fort. If we click on this, it says this ring of stones appears to have once been a place of worship. Decades of neglect caused the ring to fall into ruin. We'll leave and head back over to the docks. Alright. He should be right up here, and we'll find out if he's fallen down underneath the walker or not in a moment. I can find the door. Hold on. There we go. I haven't quite gone far enough. Here he is, Hammer himself.
Well met.
He says you've made it back. Where's the journal I gave you to record your findings? I say, here's the journal with my findings. He says, good work, Trotter. You never cease to amaze me. Your findings will come in handy. Let me review them, and afterwards I may have another mission for you. I say, I'll check back with you. Farewell. And then let's choose something else. When we got the tunic last time, let's get the pants this time. Alright, let's talk to him again.
Hello.
I have reviewed your findings, Trotter, and I have need of your talents yet again. I say, I am ready to serve the Greenhoods. He says there was supposed to be Talon plunder chests located at each of these locations, but some are absent. We need to find all 5 of the chests, or to be more precise, you need to find them. I say, is this all I need to know? And he says, inspect the chest. It should bear the crest of the Talon Brigade, an obsidian bow and skull. Report back to me when you've located all 5 of the chests. I say, I will find the plunder chest. Now, we know exactly where the first plunder chest is, because whenever I went there, I clicked on it a moment ago. It's over here in the QSS, Eben Strong Bear, something like that. The sunken ship. Make life easy and click it on the map. Alright, and here is the first plunder chest. Maybe not. I thought it was. Perhaps it is a different chest over there. Who knows? Didn't get any update from that one. Okay, there we go, over here. Alright. Better. This looks like a sturdy chest. This is orc craftsmanship, and is bound with a lock. A layer of grime covers something on the surface of the lid. So I'm going to wipe the grime from the lid. Underneath the grime, you find an emblem etched into the lid. The emblem is that of a heavy warbow and skull. This must be the Talon Brigade QSS Eben Strong Bear plunder chest. Alright, got it. 1 down, 4 to go. And we're going to come up the same way as before. So basically we have to go to all the same places we did. And this time we're going to click chests when we're there. Now, one quest that I'm not excited to do is the one for the Journeyman Boots, which is the journey is half the fun. And it is not a lot of fun for me. It's it's a heritage quest. It's a pretty good reward, but it's just not grand because you go to each of the lower level zones and you run around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to get to certain locations as quickly as possible. if you don't make it in time, then you have to restart that leg of the quest. And it's very easy to not make it in time. You have to be pretty dang familiar with where you're going in order to make it. And even if you are, some of them can be pretty tricky without having at least a scout with you, if nothing else. Now, where, oh where, is this Talon plunder chest over here? What is the question? Okay. Let's come check this way. I know there's a box back behind this building. It says this looks like a sturdy chest. This is orc craftsmanship and it is bound with a lock. A layer of grime covers something on the surface of the lid. Once again, we're going to wipe the grime from the lid and we'll get the same kind of a message as before. So we did get it. It is by this building here. I had to think back there for a second. I'm just like, I did not see this box around this time. But fortunately, I had some vague, distant memory of there being a box over there. All right, now off to this this catapult over here. Not to be confused with that catapult. And here we have it, behind these rocks. Same message, different day. Now over to the west catapult next. Then we'll do the Grove of Stones. Okay, west catapult down. And now back up there to the north. And then we'll head east. And head over there, where the final plunder chest is. It's not a treasure chest, you notice. It's a plunder chest. Don't confuse me. Those hillcats that you see hither and yon are fairly annoying whenever you're of the appropriate level, because they'll come after you. You know, they just kind of spawn on you sometimes, and I'm running after you. Alright. The chest is not hanging out right by those stones. So let's see. Where might it be? How's about along this ridge line? I'm gonna call it a ridge line over here. Check around, see if we can find it. Not springing to mind, I can tell you that. There we go. Find this rock. Alright, now that was the final one for that. We can go back over to Hammer and turn this in. Normally I would kind of do this quest as I'm doing other quests, and so it's not as much run here, do this, and then run back. I normally like to kind of do things in batches, and I'll do this area and then another area, and have a lot of quests going concurrently in the same region, but that's not exactly, you know, what I'm doing right now. So I'm just kind of soloing at the moment and taking it easy. So I don't want to do anything that would require a lot of, like for instance, if I'm going up against heroics, you know, obviously they're great to me. I can probably kill the heroics at this level, but I should definitely be able to. But the thing is that it would take more time than I'm willing to invest at this moment. There's another bed of thistle. I haven't been paying enough attention to grab those as I've gone along this time. But anyway, so I thought I would just do some quicker and easier things. Just take it easy, you know? And then whenever I come along with another person or group, then we can work on things like that. And when they're more my level, because if I can mentor down, then they can be colorful and it'll be a little more fun than killing crows. So, all right, here's Hammer.
Well met.
He says, "Have you found the Talon plunder chests?" I say yes, but they are bound by complex locks. He says, "Too nearest tears. You cannot remove the chests without alarming the Talon Brigade. We need to get inside these chests. We need the keys. I'm fond of this." I say, "I'll check back with you. Farewell." Now, of the options, I think I next want the boots. The boots are quite nice. Scrabble.
Well met.
Now he says, "Alas, it appears we must lean upon your talents once more, Trotter." I say, "I am ready to serve the Greenhoods." He says, "You're brave, Trotter. 2 and hair will make a tree in your name. As for this world, we need those keys. You must get them from the Talon Brigade." I say, "Who has them?" He says, "Perhaps a few of the grunts would carry the keys, seeing as how they are the ones that move the plunder chests. Seek them out and do what you must to obtain those keys. Good luck, Trotter." I say, "I will return with the keys." Talon grunts. Now those are non-heroics. I could go ahead and grab those. It's only going to be 5 of them. They should go down pretty easily, and I can look for the thistle while I'm at it. Maybe there'll be some around. Who knows? Okay, that should be all 5 and then some. Because I got a whole group with that attack. Howsoever, I'm not finding things with every kill, so not necessarily the case. That's looking like very much not the case. We need 2 more still. So let's grab a few more of these grunts. Foolish of me. Switched targets too quickly there. Oh well. Okay, got the 5 grunts. We can go return to Hammer. I actually don't want that. It's another of the orc smuggler requisitions. No good grabbing those. Get the orc tooth, however. Alright. Now back toward Hammer. Keeping kind of halfway an eye out for some thistle on the way. Thistle is for provisioners, really, and it has food products in it. Oh, Eyesight's logged in. How cool! I'll say hi to him. Alright, now back over here to Hammer.
Hello.
He says, "Did you acquire the 5 keys?" I say, "Yes, all 5. He says, "You've performed splendidly. Now we can send our scouts to retrieve the contents we desire and nothing more." I bow to your bravery, Trotter. You make a fine Greenhood. I say, "Till we meet again, Hammer." Now, what else do I want to get here? Let's try the shoulder pads next.
Salutations.
He says, "The brave knight has returned. It is good to see you again." I say, "I am ready to serve the Greenhoods again." He says, "You have done so much for us already. It is difficult to send you into harm's way yet again. If you truly wish to aid our cause, I do have a task for you. I say, what do you need me to do? He says the orcs are acquiring a vast cache of weapons and armor for the Vanguard forces. We must do all we can to slow their foundry. You must disrupt their mining operation. I say, I shall slow their foundry operations. Alright, and now I'm supposed to kill 10 of the Valen miners. Well, the Valen miners are over in the Valen mine, obviously, which is in this area up here. Do I want to do that at this moment? I suppose I can. I'll end up having to go back to the mines. Well, actually, I've done quite a few of the things in the mines already, so it'd be okay to go and knock this out. And again, let's keep an eye out for those bushes, the thistles. There may also be some shinies along the way when I get up closer to the mine. Some pages at the very least. Plenty of these headstones around whenever I've already done the quest, huh? Ah, yes, mine here, right at the entrance to it. Not sure why I decided to do that at the last second, but here we are. Okay, we're just gonna jump down, and we'll see if it kills me. Almost, not quite. Alright. If I jumped all the way down, I think it would have. I'm also quite close to being full on, in my bags. Interesting. Alright. So I need 10 of the miners. I don't know if they're going to update every time we kill one. It's looking good so far, 2 for 2. There are some static quests around here, but I may have already gotten them and done them. There's one for killing miners. This, I think, is a shiny. Yeah, Rise the Orcs, the Rossing, page 4. And that actually is a no trade, so I shouldn't have grabbed it, because it looks like I already have it. But anyway, if you're looking for that, there it is. Not right now. You'll have to wait a few minutes for it to repop, but hey, it's there sometimes. Now let me see here. Dang. I think it's the shovel over here that gives you a quest. Maybe to kill the Valen miners. Let me see if this is right. The cart. Examine to begin catapult ammo suppliers. Slay 20 Valen miners in Zek. And yes, so that's the Brute Strutter's good to this Brute Strutter's guide to the old grove of the pit. I don't know where that is. Let me see if I can. Yeah, okay, it's probably up above. Alright, so more miners. Let's find some. Isaacs has noticed my message and said hello. That's cool. see what level he's up to now. 19 Shadow Knight. Nice. Alright, these are not what we need. Those are, a lot of times there's a name that spawns among those guys there. I didn't pay attention to if the name was there right now or not. But let's go into the next little hole over here. We should be able to find another miner. And then there's one more right in here. There should be. Maybe not. This is a quickie too. What is this? I can't remember. Is it? That's not. Let me just click on it. Search the bucket. Okay, so that is a static shiny. It is Rise of the Orcs Rousing, page 5, and it's one that I still needed. So there we go, finish that collection. Isaac says, not much goofing off until I open the pool. Nice. Alright, let's track for the next morning. Okay, it's up the ramp. So the ramp starts here. Alright, finally we found him. Had to kind of wind our way through there. Ah. Well, I forgot these guys up here are heroics, so they're gonna take a while. Hit me. All right, 7 of 10. Gonna go back downstairs. They should be repopping there soon. Actually, maybe some at the top by now. Should be a little bit careful because gotta get a well, it's okay. I was gonna say I'm in danger of dying if I jump, but I can jump further than I think I can sometimes with this this character, so. Alright, so we got a chest with Foreman Gar's Gog Diary, page 12 in it. Very nice. And now let's get this mine over here. And then probably head up to the top where there will be the final miner that we need to pop. He says population really dropped here when Yoshi went live. I bet that's true. And then EQ Legends went live shortly thereafter. So I'm sure that comes into play as well. Okay, so nobody has come down the elevator shaft since my jump down here, which doesn't surprise me greatly. Let's see if there's anything here right now. So it's me and one other person in this zone. It's a 78 conjurer. I wonder what they're doing here. Looks like Karen. Interesting. All right. Another miner. And that'll be the last one that I need. And then I'll head back over to Hammer at the docks area. In the port, as they call it. And I ran the wrong way. Cool. Can you hear me, Ice?
Yeah.
Awesome. Haven't seen you in a while. I think I've been playing too much EverQuest Legends and not enough EverQuest 2, huh?
That is probably the case.
When are you gonna get an account over there? Let's talk to Hammer here.
Well met.
I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to go over yet. I know my daughter's been playing it.
She has been. Hammer says, what have you to report on the Valen Foundry operations? I say, I have slain a number of orc miners. He says, excellent work as usual. Your combat skills will buy us just enough time to send a raiding party to the Valen Foundry. Many thanks, my friend, and Mutunere, keep you safe. In fact, I've learned recently that it's pronounced Tunar, which is odd. Why is the E at the end? It's just very strange. Tunar. Okay. I say farewell, Hammer. I shall always serve the Greenhoods. Okay, so we have one piece we can get still. I could get the gloves, or the cap, or the bracers. So what would I rather have? Probably the gloves out of those options. Yeah, we're gonna get the gloves. It's quite a different game over there. Let's see here. Do I want to do anything? Oh yeah, I've got to get this.
Yeah, I gather from, based on the old EQ1, that's definitely from the past.
Yes, and you know what though? There are a lot of really kind of cool stuff that they've added, I guess. I since I didn't play EQ1, I'm not sure which things they've added and which things were already there. Probably Illyria could tell you more on that. Probably we can climb some of these thistles up north a little ways. I'm gonna run around this area first and check and see. So put it right there. There's actually a good distribution of things to gather in this area right now. It's a good gathering spot, as I said earlier. It's right here on the map, right in this area. That being said, it's always better to gather in enchanted lands, but once both quests come out, the Gathering Obsession stuff, then you'll have to gather in both places. And if you are of the appropriate level to be here, or if you're lower level as an adventurer, then that's probably one of the safer places. The other place is if you go up here, and you have to be able to get over here. So that's the hard part when you're lower level. You can do it. But once you get back to like the Three Toes Lake kind of area, I think it's called Three Toes Pond, something like that, then it's safe over there. It's a little area. It doesn't have a whole lot you can gather, but it has a little bit, and you can just continue to farm that area for your harvestables until you have it all. Got another page over here, always nice. I don't need that one though. Uto's Valley, that's the area. Bestest Orphippers, page 7, very nice. Use that for sure. And here's some more thistle. How much more thistle do I actually need? Or do I need any? If I'm finished with it, that would be funny. I might be. All I see is slay deathless toilers, collect Baywings, slay catapult operators, scout out and report information about an area known as Refuge here in Zet. Okay. So that must be the next step of the quest that was having you gather thistle. So, in that case, I shall go back and go look for Refuge. Now, I think that Refuge is the area, like to the south, I guess, pretty, let me see on the map here. It's just almost straight south of, well, it's southwest, I suppose, of Death's Citadel. So it's like over in this area, maybe, possibly, that direction. Been a while. Can't say for sure, but I'm gonna go and check over there. When you're lower level, going over this is a safer way to get over there than running through the valley. See if we have any pages laying around or shinies to pick up on the way. Certainly I still need quite a few of them, so. Looks like a couple right in front of me here. Rise of the Orcs, the Dead Time, page 11, right there. And then what do we have here? Rise of the Orcs, the Fall, page 10. I'm gonna check in here. I don't remember what this area is called. It's a little side place with some of the deer and the grizzlies, and you actually need those for some city writs. Oh, my inventory's full. How could it be? Alright, let's sort it. And then I'm going to see which of these things I can possibly just scribe. Not scribe, but collect. Is that a no trade? It's a no value thing, but not no trade necessarily. Getting quite a collection of stuff here. All of it I seem to already have in my collection, so let's get rid of this fork tooth. Rise that works through adjoining, page 3. And that's stacked, so that's cool. Let's grab this shiny in that case. Got an unscathed ogre bone fragment there. And that also stacked. So, still have room for a shiny. Nice. Alright. Now, there's Shadowed Rift Watchers over here. I think there's an access point to... maybe not. I don't see one. Sometimes, when you see those guys together, and you kill them, then they'll open up a portal to the Obelisk of Lost Souls, I believe is what it's called. But I wasn't sure if it did there or not. I don't see it on the map, so maybe not. Got some more shinies here. The Orcs of North, page 3. I'm definitely going to have to run back to town soon. Let's see, do I want to destroy any more of my things or not? I suppose that I could destroy, you know what, I'll destroy the cucumber. And pick up the page. Gerb North Star's Journal, page 12. Was it worth the cucumber? I don't know, maybe. And another shiny over here. Oh, another page open, goodness. Inventory full. Let's get rid of some more of these food products. The wild apples can get pretty expensive, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'll destroy the tea leaves for now. And we get this Gerb North Star's Journal, page 8. And then whatever this shiny air is. It is unscathed orc bone fragment. Very nice. Alright, we're getting close to where I think the refuge is. We'll see if it is or not. Gotta get those shinies over there first. Quite a few of them. Unscathed Barbarian bone fragment there. Ah, inventory full. Alright, goodbye to the EverQuest ice beans, I suppose. So we got Rise of the Orcs through joining page 10. I feel like we already had that, but I guess not, it looks like. So, apples are next on the list. Rise of the Orcs through joining page 11. Getting that whole set of the rejoining out of the way. Here we have another one. So let's see, what more might I want to destroy? Well, maybe I'll just use the Spirit Totem of the Tiger. It's one that increases the health regen by a little bit. I'd kind of rather keep it, honestly. Let me see here. Is there any way I might can find a spot or something? Not really. I don't want to get rid of the Velian Court. Yeah, kind of down to not many options other than Shinies. But I feel like it would be a waste of a Spirit Totem of the Tiger, honestly. But I have plenty of them, and it would clear a slot. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Use it. And then we'll pick up this shiny. Rise of the Orcs, the Fall, page 5. And it did not fill up that slot, so pros and cons to that. Alright. This direction is where I was thinking that the refuge might be. We'll see if it is risen in a moment. Oh, Isaac said he was taken off. We got Rise of the Axe, the Rouse on page 11. Which still leaves us a slot. Lookout Coast. Rise of the Orcs, the Dead Town, page 11 here. Let's see if we can get into here without attracting attention. We're gonna get this guy's attention in a moment, but I'm just gonna go run in and then back out, because why not? Then I might feign death too, who knows? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So, what this means is that this area is not correct for the refuge. So the next question is the refuge the spot to the south where, over at the beach? Maybe. Could be. I'm gonna go check. It's not quite where I wanted to go, I don't think. This way? No. I'm just still not there yet, that's the problem. So I guess it was the way I wanted to go. I was just thinking it was a little sooner than this. But look, a shiny. Gotta go grab that. Apparently this is the refuge right here. See, I had thought it was going to be down south a little bit more. Browser that works through Rousing page 6. And then North Star's Journal, page 3. It says, I need to speak with Division Supplier Gertarn, or Gertum, down by the docks. So, we're going to continue in the direction I was going previously. A little bit. Actually, I've taken a wrong turn in Memphis, haven't I? That was, that's where the spires eventually are. There we go. That's more like it. Because we can just run around the outside of this and then go right over to the docks. Alright. I still have one slot in the inventory, which is great. But I think that after I turn this in, I'm going to call back to town, because I'm going to have to unload stuff before I do much more adventuring, it looks like. Which is fine, because I need to probably take that opportunity to eat some food anyway. So, I can pop over there, throw some stuff into the guild houses, or the guild house, guild depots, and then go ahead and call it for now. So we've got the division supplier, Gerton here, or Gerton? Probably. He says, so you managed to find the clasp? Good work. I'll bring this fodder over to our blacksmith. I'm certain he can get the clasp back into working shape in no time, and your information about Refuge will help our other scout parties. Here is your payment. Are you willing to do some more work? You would accept this wasteland tar and care? And I say, sure, what do you have? He says, now that we have a means to get that door locked again, it's time to start looking for who sabotaged it in the first place. We've ruled out that it was an inside job, but I'm not too certain it was one of the orcs. I have some information from a previous scout that I think it's time to explore. Are you willing to help me track down this clue? I say that's something I can do. Give me the job. He says, before I can send you to gather up what I am going to need to track down this information, I'm going to need you to assist our guards. Once you've helped our guards kill a number of those grunts, then I'm going to need you to gather up some black sap that can be found on some of those vestigial roots in this area. Finally, I'm going to need you to find another place, the mythical forest. Go find out what's so mythical about it. I say I'll be back when I'm done. Excellent. So, let's uncheck all of these, because who knows what I'll be doing next time I go out adventuring. Maybe here, maybe somewhere else. You don't need to have it cluttering up my window in the meantime. So, let's click K, because I have my call of Qeynos in this window here. So we'll call Qeynos, and like I said, I'll hop in. This should call me right to Willow Wood in front of our guild house. We don't have a guild hall yet. We're not quite level 30, and we don't really have the status points to be able to upkeep it right now. We're not in enough to do that pretty efficiently. So we currently have a guild house in Willow Wood, and it has depots and crafting tables in it. So it's effectively a guild house without being, or a guild hall without being a guild hall. So anyhow, I'll go and deposit some stuff into those containers, and then I'll call it for a while. Access this, visit, and just right in the front room, we have all these depots here. First and foremost, let's dump some stuff into the harvesting depot. I don't know that I have a lot in my bags as far as that's concerned. Let's throw in some scrolls if we have any. There was at least one thing that left in the bags. Poisons, potions I don't have to get rid of. Collectibles though, we got a ton. Alright, let's see if there's anything here we need. There is. There's a rhinoceros beetle. And I'm not going to grab the lure of the fauna right now. Don't want to do that quest at the moment. Once you finish that quest, you can no longer see the shinies for it. Food and drink depot, nah, I'm good. Lore and legend, sure. If there's anything in my bags, it's free to go in there. Ammo depot, house item. Yeah, if I have any house items, I'll toss those in as well. Doesn't look like I have any. Fuel depot, pretty sure I don't have fuel. I'll try it. Let's toss in. And then the other thing is the adornment depot. Certain that I don't have any of those, but we'll click the button anyway. Okay, that immediately cleared up a lot of room in my bags. And I'm sure it'll be beneficial to some folks. Let's sort these bags now. And then I will be able to pretty easily go out adventuring next time with some space in my bags, even if I don't have time to hit the banker or the broker before then. But I guess I can go real quick and sell some of this stuff to one of the merchants over here before I take off. There's just a couple of pieces that are just vendor trash. Maybe just one, I'm not sure. I remember I saw like an Icar Chalice or something like that. I can't remember what it was called exactly. Maybe Icar Chalice is a magic card. Who knows? Who knows? Too many games. Alright, let's go to sell. I'm going to click hide not for sale. Ancient decorated chalice. That's the kind of chalice that it is. Now you'll notice that it says looted souvenir treasure. Anytime it says that it's a looted treasure like that, that means it's just 100% vendor trash. It says an ancient chalice with leaf and ivy etchings expertly made on the outer side. So we're going to sell that, get 1 gold, 80 silver, and 40 copper for that. These things I don't want to sell, so I'm going to mark them not for sale. And that's going to apply to each of these emerald items that I got, and basically any armor, because there's no real reason to sell these things to a vendor. I'll leave the gel sealed documents for sale, because I will want to sell them for status points. In fact, it occurs to me I have possibly a decent number of status items that I might want to pick up out of the bank and turn in. Maybe we can get enough status. How close? I'm not close enough on the gold XP, unfortunately. But I do have, I think, a decent number of such things in the bank. I'll toss this one in as well. I'm just going to auto bank it. I don't know if I've auto banked all of those or not, so I may have them in a number of places. Just kind of looking through here to find out what I have going. I have some random gear pieces and such, it looks like. Definitely want to throw the bone in. Oh, there we go. That's more like. So yes, I have a decent collection of random status point items there. I may have some in these windows as well, but I'm not sure. It looks like I've got some chests and such in case I ever make, and well, I do have a couple of vaults, but in case I ever play them more, they're primarily just for crafting, the ones that I have so far. It doesn't look like I've put status point items in. So I could go and turn these things in, and I could even do that before I eat. It's pretty simple. I'll sort my bags real quick, and then I suppose I can grab this stuff out, run them around, and turn them in. Now, once you have a guild hall and you have a status point merchant in there, then you can just go to your guild hall and turn them in there. Makes life a lot simpler in a lot of ways. So, anyhow, we'll go ahead and do this. Now, some of these are not going to give any guild status because they're too low level, but some of them will. And And the ones that don't give guild status are still going to give personal status. But you have to take them to the right people. So, we're going to come over here. And I think we start... I think there's bills now to North Qeynos and South Qeynos. Last time that I was turning in, I don't think that there were, but if we have a bill that'll take us to South Qeynos, yes, we do. Excellent. Then we can start our turn-ins there, and then head north from there. So, okay. We're going to go down to the mage tower right here, and that's where we're going to start turning in. At the mage tower, you turn in things like scrying stones. And let's see. Will this guy take my stuff? I think he will. Hide not for sale. And we want to find the ones that give the status point out. So there's 4 scrying stone. Get 100 status points. Now you notice that that's yellow. And what yellow means is that we're not going to actually get any for the guild, but we will get personal status points. We'll go ahead and do it. Sell all 4. Jasper scrying stones, another of the same situations, too low level, so we get it for personal stuff but not for guild. Now when it's blue like this, that means we get guild status points as well as personal status points. So a portion of this is given in status points to the guild when we sell these. So we'll sell those. And then the same for the ruby scrying stones. We only have one of those, sell it, good to go. Alright. That's all you have to do here. Now we're going to run north and head toward North Qeynos. North Qeynos has a couple of places to turn in status point items. It's got the Fighter Guild and the Priest Guild over there. So we'll be able to drop off a good number in North Qeynos, and then we can head to Eldar Grove for the scout stuff. And then that's all we'll need to do. We'll have all of our stuff turned in. Clear up some room in the bank, and also get a little bit of status points for our personal status and for the guild. Now the personal status is what we're going to need in order to do the upkeep on a guild house. Once we have enough, either enough built up that it would be fairly safe to do that, or playing more consistently. So we're going to head toward the Fighter Guild now. It costs 50,000 status for a small guild hall every week. I come over here to one of these guys. Not that guy. Which guy? I don't think it's that guy. Maybe, I don't know. I'm clicking. Sell. Hide not for sale. That'll work. Alright. 20 black and iron relics, and again, these are each going to give me 100 personal status points. Same for those. Now we got Evan relics. That's going to go to me and the guild. Face seal also goes to me and the guild. It depends on the level of the guild that you have as to whether they give status points to your guild or not. I'm not sure if I made that clear earlier. So there you are. And now we're down to just the priest stuff and the scout stuff. I'm actually going to stop over at Muro Stadron and turn in these collections as well.
Good day.
He says, hello, traveler. How I envy you. What I wouldn't give to journey the world as I did in my youth. Alas, I'm an old man. But at least I can occupy myself with my various trinkets and collections that I've picked up in my travels. I say, I have a collection for you. He says, this is a magnificent find. Here, take this for all your hard work. And I say, okay, bye. And I'm going to accept the bracelet of glowing shards, the 9 contemplations book, Journeyman Boots journal, Rise of the Orcs the Rousing. Alright, very cool. Okay, so let's have a look at these things. I don't really need this wrist piece. It's my level. It's actually quite my level. But I like the things that I have a little, actually significantly better than those. So I'm not really interested in the bracelet of glowing shards. Even though it's cool, not up my alley. But let's read these books real quick. We got the 9 Contemplations here. Let's check it out. The 9 Contemplations, 2nd edition. This book presents several riddles that the druids and rangers of a place called the Surefall Glade would puzzle over. To know truth, one must understand the cycles of life and nature. In order to find harmony within the Surefall Glade, you must find harmony within yourself. Take these mantras and know them in your heart. When the words become second thought, you will then have found your balance within the world. Growth. Stasis without thought. Timeless nothingness is wrong. Once this sprouts from naught, it will guide one all life long. Sorry, the writing is tiny in my screen, so I'm struggling here. Decay. To live one's full life, one must start and one must end. As joy is to strive, it is growth's only true friend. Health. When life is so quick, vim and vigor should not hide. The mind pours the tonic, body is where it resides. Ocean. To ride on its back, one feels the strength of our moons. Sink into its black, one will gaze on life-filled dunes. Sky. It falls from above and sinks deep into the lung. True home of the dove and every song it has sung. Storm. In numbers they're loud, and forms tempests from breezes. Welcome its wet shroud, for its gift replenishes. Sun. If one stares too long, it will be the last sight seen. From it, trees grow strong, changing yellow into green. Underfoot. Darkness rules supreme in the globe beyond the peat, just as in a dream its gateways, its conceit. Hope. When all things are none, when existence is bereft, there will be but one, the only thing that is left. Alright, so that was the 9 Contemplations. Now we have Gerb Northstar's Journal. Northstar's Journal, 2nd edition. This book is a journal that was kept by a druid who lived within a deeply forested land and investigated some new visitors that came to live within his forest. Entry 38. I have spoken with Left Paw, and he told me that there are visitors within the pines. Though he was interested in the salmon, in between mouthfuls, he told me that I would find them down by the shore. I may wish to see who these guests are and what intentions they have. Entry 43. I have seen our visitors from afar, and cannot tell for certain what they have planned, but it looks as if our guests may be staying for a while to come. I believe I shall introduce myself to these women so that they know the clade and the pines are already being looked after. Entry 46. I am very uncertain about why these women have come to our trees. Though they claim they are refugees, I could tell there was something unspoken between them whenever they would talk. The most mysterious was the one who appeared to be their leader. I will record my findings and bring this to the circle. Perhaps their wisdom may better know what to do. Ariella Clearsong appears to be the leader of this group of women. She is the one who introduced each of her fellows and explained why they were here in the Jagged Pine. She said they would take refuge on the small island for the time being and leave it as it was when they were done. She refused to say what it was they were doing, however. Andrea introduced herself as a Templar. I was unfamiliar with the term, but she assured me it was just a word her people used to describe those who held faith within their hearts. I was unable to get her to tell me what god she worshipped, which draws my suspicion. Abella claimed to be a sorcerer. She explained that she drew energies from the surrounding air and crafted them into other forms. I am unfamiliar with the workings of magic that comes not from nature, so much of what she said meant nothing to me. Alexis described herself as a sooth. When I asked her what that meant, she told me that I would surely find out one day. I took her for being one of the rudest in the group. Anessa called herself a thaumaturge. She started to explain what it was that a thaumaturge did, but was interrupted by Ariella, who had questions for me. When I answered and asked Anessa to continue, she told me I would not find it interesting. I am no fool, however. I know Ariella gave Anessa a signal to hold her silence. Abigail said that she was a mystic. She told me how she could see those who were trapped between the worlds of life and death. Telling her that I did not believe in such nonsense, I felt the wind kick up around my hair. I am sure it was nothing more than mere coincidence. Anathema was the last one I spoke with, and she in turn aroused my suspicion the most. She told me she was a protector, but when I asked of what, she just looked to Ariella. I stood between the two, blocking visual contact, and that was when I could see the tears begin to well up in her eyes. I am certain there is more going on than meets the eye to these words. Alright, and then we have Rise of the Orcs, The Rousing. Second edition. This book highlights the turning point when the orcs would become a force to be reckoned with. The following historical account details what some stories describe as the return of the orcs. Once primal savages, the orcs would become frightening masters of tactics and strategy not seen on Norath for nearly 1,000 years. The following facts have been taken from many different sources, ranging from fragments of parchment to tales told by elderly elves. The Deathfist Orcs. By the Age of Turmoil, the Deathfist Orcs would become a formidable threat to the city of Freeport. Having grown in size, the Deathfist Orcs would absorb all the surrounding tribes, making them the largest tribe on Norath. Their numbers would prompt the overlord of Freeport to send his armies against these savages from time to time in an attempt to keep them from destroying all commerce. This would change one day, however. When one of the Freeport militia raiding parties failed to return one day, several search parties were sent after them. When none of them returned either, 1/3 of the militia was sent to find the cause of their disappearance. Of the 1,200 soldiers that left to search for the patrols, only 17 would return to describe what happened to the Legion. Their tale would change the way people viewed the orcs the world over. As the Legion reached the last known site of the troops, they spotted several orcs fleeing into a narrow ravine. Following them into the ravine, they spotted the mangled bodies of their fallen comrades. At the same moment, a wave of boulders fell from the surrounding cliffs, closing off their escape. That was when the hundreds of enraged, trained elephants were let loose by the Deathfist Orcs. At full speed, they began to stampede through the ravine, straight for the doomed militia. The Snow Orcs. During this time, the Snow Orcs' numbers would be reduced drastically. Having been driven to the eastern half of the Everfrost Peaks, the Snow Orcs were wedged between the lair of a mighty dragon on one side and the ever-expanding mammoth-tusked trade on the other. Were it not for a change in the way they used their weapons, the Snow Orcs would count the time period as their last on Norath. The shamans of the Snow Orc tribes would at times raise the bodies of the fallen, friend or foe alike. These icy-boned skeletons would then be sent loose to wander the frozen wastelands, attacking anything they would find. The Snow Orcs hoped that the skeletons would one day find the barbarian or adventurer and kill them. For unknown reasons, the Snow Orcs would change tactics and start using their undead minions with surprising efficiency. Cleverly hiding their actions from everyone, the orcs would bury many lines of skeletons beneath the snow outside the entrance to the great dragon's lair. As great heroes would emerge from her lair with stolen artifacts, a group of orc shamans would be waiting. At the precise moment, all the shamans would raise the skeletons to life, trapping the raiding party inside a circle of hundreds of skeletons. It wouldn't take long for the undead to overwhelm the heroes. The Snow Orcs would then take the artifacts from the dead adventurers, flay the flesh from their bones, and add them to their army of undead. The Crushbone Orcs. No one knows for sure where they acquired them, but by this time in history, the Crushbone Orcs would be seen carrying weapons of Dark Elf make. Rumors tell of a Dark Elf ambassador being seen in the highest tower of the Orcs' castle, so it can only be assumed the Orcs had brokered a deal with their people. Considering the less than philanthropic nature of the Dark Elves, it is still a mystery as to what the Orcs were providing in return. The Crushbone Orcs would claim a stunning victory against the Elves of Kelethin one fateful day. Amassing their highly trained armies, they launched an attack against both the dwarven city of Keledin and the high elven city of Felwith. The residents of the tree city of Kelethin split their forces to help defend their allied cities, and were able to stop the Orcish legionnaires with only minimal casualties. Little did they know, the true target of the Orcish assault was the city of Kelethin. Attacking with their real army, the Crushbone Orcs would succeed at chopping down 2 of the ancient trees supporting the Wood Elf city. By the time the Wood Elves would return home and put a stop to the Orcs, half of Kelethin would be destroyed. So there we go. A little bit of history for you guys. Okay, so onward, we're going to turn in to... Oh, look at all those quests. You know what? Those are all... mind is going blank. Writs, basically. I think. But we need to go turn in to this guy over here, Caretaker Nogfizzle. He's our priest representative who stands outside here. Sell, and we're going to hide not for sale. And then Coral Amulet, let's sell those for 100 status point each. And then Jasper Amulet for 200 each. Those are personal status points. Then we've got some status points that'll give for us and the guild. 6 for 300 status points each. And then the Ruby Amulets give both to us and the guild. Now, onward. Let's head over to Eldar Grove. Eldar Grove is the home of the Scout Guild. So off we go. And the scout representative stands at the bottom of the tree that you can go up the platform into the treehouse and get more quests there. But here we have this guy, Wanderer Green Coast. Let's sell to him. Hide not for sale. And the beeswax sealed document will give status points to us and the guild, 400 status points. Gel sealed gives 300 to us and the guild. And then paraffin we're just going to get personal status points from, and tallow sealed we'll get personal status from as well. Now, we've sold all of our accumulated status point items. I find it's easiest if you just store those things in your bank and then make one run at some point every once in a while to turn those in, so that you don't end up running them around every time that you want to get them out of your bags. So, of course, it hasn't done much to progress the guild with just those few status points that we're actually giving status. You give like 10% of the status that you earn to the guild, so it takes a while for that to add up. But when you have large enough sections, it tells you right here, 10% of your personal status gain is also contributed towards your guild's advancement. So it doesn't take the status points away from you, it just, in addition, if it's blue, then it'll give you the status points that you earn, but it'll also give 10% of that toward the level in points. So you can see your status points that you've contributed to the guild underneath the status heading here in the guild window. So that's how that works, in case you wondered. Now, I think that I am going to take off and go get some lunch real quick. So I'm gonna log out, and hopefully I will see all of you later. If you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on notifications so that you can see the next time that I go live. And don't forget to hit me up on Discord. I'm trying to use that more, and hopefully I will manage to succeed in that venture. But goodbye for now, and hopefully I will see you